One of the most interesting things to me was how little Donald Trump spent in Iowa. I understand that he spent less than $1 million on the so-called ground game. That means getting out the vote, identifying people, using databases and outreach. I understand he only had 16 staff in the entire state. He was relying purely on media momentum. How much has that lack of a ground game damaged Trump going forward? I would suggest that it's lost the aura of invincibility and inevitability that was on his side. Do you think that that will harm him in the next few states? Do you think he will change his tactics and actually start spending money on the traditional get out the vote street teams that a regular candidate would have to use?
Well, I think he has an organization that is stronger in other places, particularly in New Hampshire. He has spent money in other places to hire staff. I think in Iowa, he didn't ever think he was going to do as well as he did. If you had said 2 months ago, Trump's going to come second in Iowa with, something like 25% of the vote, I think people would have said, wow, that's a great result for him. I think that dollar for dollar, he did very well. If you think that you have to win every single state, you're going to waste your resources. Look what happened to Scott Walker. He had to win Iowa, right? So he put all his money into organizing and consultants and so forth. And as a result, he burned himself out very quickly. If Trump had done the same thing, he would not have been able to withstand a loss in Iowa, would not have been able to play to his strengths in a place like New Hampshire, which chooses maverick candidates, which chooses socially moderate candidates. So I think he's invested his organizing resources where he thinks they'll turn out the strongest vote for him. I actually think he does pretty well. If there's one mistake he made, it was simply peaking too soon. I mean, he surged in the polls. He was down something like 10 points a few weeks ago and overtook Cruz in the polls for a while. Then, of course, the only poll that counts is the one on Election Day, so he lost that one. But I think he's done very well in terms of campaign management. Obviously, the message today is not to his liking, but he can fight to win that back by the weekend.